we're going to be talking about the story of the prodigal son. And we call it the story of the prodigal son, but the story is actually about the dad.
Absolutely.
And so God gave me this word about a month ago, and as He was giving it to me, part of the word He gave me involved the Johnson family. I know their story well because we sort of walked beside them through it, and but I was thinking about the story of the prodigal son, and I was going to use their family as the sort of the illustrated sermon, and I was going to tell their story, and I thought it would be better for them to tell their story. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to hear the Johnson family version of the prodigal son. Now, the story of the prodigal son in the Bible is a made-up story. It's a parable. It wasn't something that actually happened. It wasn't. It's a story that Jesus made up to make a point. And so we're not going to try to make the Johnson family's version of this fit Jesus' version, and we're not going to try to make the story that Jesus told fit their family. But their family went through a similar thing, and so I talked to Scott and Amy and asked if they would be willing to share. And then I talked to each one of the kids and asked them if they would be willing to share. And so that's what we're going to do today. But I'm going to read the story before we start. Luke chapter 15. Verse 11. Jesus continued. There was a man who had 2 sons. The younger one said to his father, "Give me my share of the estate." So he divided his property between them. Now, we're already getting off the script here because we're going to be dealing with the older son today, not the younger son. But that's all right. It was a made-up story, so it's good. So the older son said to the father, "Give me my share of the estate." So he divided his property between them. Not long after that, the older son got together all he had, set off for a distant country, and there squandered his wealth in wild living. After he had spent everything, there was a severe famine in that whole country, and he began to be in need. So he went and hired himself out to a citizen of that country, who sent him to his fields to feed pigs. He longed to fill his stomach with the pods that the pigs were eating, but no one gave him anything. Boy, that's an amazing thought right there. He was so hungry, he wanted to eat what the pigs were eating, but he wasn't allowed. Boy, that's hunger. When he came to his senses, he said, "How many of my father's hired servants have food to spare, and here I am starving to death? I will set out and go back to my father and say to him, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired servants.' So he got up and went to his father. But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion for him. He ran to his son, threw his arms around him, and kissed him. The son said, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son.' But the father said to his servants, 'Quick, bring the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Bring the fattened calf and kill it. Let's have a feast and celebrate. For this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found.' So they began to celebrate. Meanwhile, the older son was in the field. When he came near the house, he heard music and dancing. So he called one of the servants and asked him what was going on. Your brother has come, he replied, and your father has killed the fatted calf because he has him back safe and sound. The older brother became angry and refused to go in. So his father went out and pleaded with him. By the way, I'll just share this real quick. We don't have an older brother in the Johnson family. There was nobody that was unhappy with anything that happened. But the older son was angry, and so his father went out and pleaded with him. But he answered his father, "Look, all these years I've been slaving for you and have never disobeyed your orders. Yet you never gave me even a young goat so I could celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours, who has squandered your opportunity with prostitutes, comes home, you kill the fattened calf for him." "My son," the father said, "you are always with me, and everything I have is yours. But we had to celebrate and be glad, because this brother of yours was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found." The word God gave me out of this story is this. God wants us, all of us, to come all the way back. All the way back. And I feel like what God shared me, what God shared with me and showed me is that there's a lot of people that you're living, what I call living beneath your privilege. You have a Father in heaven that loves you more than you'll ever know.
Yes.
And it's true, you're like the prodigal son. All of us. Every one of us in this room. We all squandered what was rightfully ours at different points in our life. We all made bad choices along the way. Not all of our choices were bad, but every one of us knows what it's like to have made some mistakes, to have made bad choices and squandered the incredible heritage that we were created to be. We were in fact in the Garden of Eden with Eve. And just like Eve, we were deceived and we squandered what was rightfully ours. And today, God wants you to know that He wants you all the way back. That means we need to let go of any anger or fear or guilt that might be holding us captive and walk in the realization that we are a child of the King. We are a child of the Most High God. And we need to walk in the incredible privilege and rightful position that is ours. So today, I've asked the Johnson family to share their story because they have a story, just like all of us. And I'm not sure how you guys want to start. But there was an event. We'll start with the event. And that, what's it been? Maybe 6 years ago?
High school.
It was
6 years.
You were what, 17 years old? 18?
Senior.
Senior in high school. So, tell us what happened, Jaden. That